my suggestion to get into film festivals is, at least the ones I look for, since I program also in the International Film Festival Manhattan, try to make your short film shorter, 5 minutes to 10 minutes or up to 15 minutes. Cannes Film Festival in France actually limits 15 below. You're not going to believe how many they select for competition at Cannes. Just 7 short films. And every now and then we have Filipino films there. I met Raymond Ribay Gutierrez over there, the protege of Brillante Mendoza, and he was one of the competitors. I think it was called Judgment that time, or Verdict. And then he converted it to a long feature film. Otherwise, short film should be short. It should be 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Reason being is that short films in some film festivals, they group them into a 1 hour short. So in 1 hour, if you can fit in 10 films or 15 films, that's better rather than putting a 30-minute and you only have 2 30-minutes. So you have to think of marketing also for the film festival. Feature films. Try to make your films a 90-minute feature film or 70 minutes. It'll be easier to program. You'll be able to put more films. And then you can create your longer version for other film festivals. But other film festivals would show your 70 minutes to 90 minutes films. Of course, don't forget, the sound quality. Everything should be there. Sound quality, picture quality. It should have a story beginning, middle, or end. Even if it's experimental, it has to make sense. And it has to capture, for me at least, it has to capture your first 15 minutes if it's a feature film, or it has to capture our attention if it's a short film, your first minute. Otherwise, if it's boring, if it doesn't make sense in the first 2 minutes, they will turn it off. And believe it or not, they do turn it off if
really,
it's not,
sir?
It doesn't make sense.
What if
Yes.
it has a plot twist at the end? Like, you never know.
You never know, but you're not going to believe it. At least in our film festival, in the International Film Festival Manhattan, we watch all of the films. But in some film festivals, it passes through an assistant, passes through someone's selection committee, and then the programmer. It probably will pass through 3, 4, 5 levels. So you have to catch the attention of everyone. So you have to think of it that way. I know everything is a masterpiece in your mind.
Yeah.
But do think of it as it has to be marketable, it has to be programmable, and it has to catch the attention. Or else, I know some of the films could be short, slow, I should say, but at least it should make sense. And, there are actually cycles of films right now. Of course, it's experimental to create a cell phone video. And they say, try to submit it to film festivals that's opposite of your culture. So obviously we're from the Southeast, so send it to the West.
Yeah. They will
Europe
be
and America.
Let's talk about the issue of poverty porn. Because they're saying that most of the films that are accepted in international film festivals are poverty porns from the Philippines. What can you say about it? It's like that's may mas opportunity sila na mapakita doon.
I actually show a lot of that. So, because when I think of showing something in a film festival, it should be something that people get fascinated with here in America, or things that they have never seen before. Yeah. Poverty over here is homelessness, but over there in the Philippines, or at least in Asia, it's totally different. It's even worse. But otherwise, I know they put very good actors portraying people who are poor. But otherwise, there is an art to it. I do not say that it shouldn't be patronized, because as an art form, there is a genre to it, started by, of course, Lina Broca, and now a lot of the filmmakers, including Brillante Mendoza, has shown the reality. Let's just say the reality in the Philippines. And they have had successes abroad, here in America, in Europe, showing such a thing. So I don't really discourage it, but it could be part of your movie. It could be your movie, but otherwise, it really depends on you. as I always suggest, it should come from the heart. If you're sincere in what you're showing, your message, and what you're showing on screen, and if you can answer a good Q&A about it, why not?
Yeah, and it's also about the intention of why you want to show this to the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and they will see it if you're sincere about it, or you're just putting it out there just because. But otherwise, it has to come from the heart. The message has to come from the heart. You have to be sincere.
So let's go back to you as a festival director, and you said your criteria in choosing your films. May iba pa po bang criteria na share kayo bukod sa time? Curious talaga eh.
I can't believe I was talking about technical aspects because diba, art is subjective. It's not objective. It's not by the numbers. But otherwise, I said the numbers. The bottom line for me is at the end, if the film is blessed enough for us to watch it up to the end, it should say, wow.
So it's really as simple as
again,
that. Because we're like overthinking.
To hurdle the ending, you need to impress us with the beginning. So now, your formula has to have a good beginning, middle, or end. But otherwise, with selection, for me, if to oversimplify your question, at the end, it should say, wow, for me.
Okay.
Because you can't really put it in words because it depends on your mood that time. It depends on someone who's helping you out in the selection or judging of what their mood at that time is. And then also, believe it or not, during a year, there would be a commonality of topic during that year. Like for instance, a lot of the submissions this year were about the pandemic or about lockdown. Some years, there would be a lot of documentaries. Some years, believe it or not, even at the New York Film Festival, I would ask the programmer, why are the films all lighthearted and comedy?
Yeah.
It's because it's a submission that year. Apparently, people think alike. Everyone from around the world has this psyche, and maybe because everyone's on Facebook right now and the social media, that somehow they all think alike. So there's a similarity in the submissions every now and then, and I noticed that.
As a programmer, how is it like watching all the films hours long? Kasi may nag-share sa akin na ganun yung ginagawa ata sa Cannes. Like, uupo sila and then the whole day they just watch. So it's good thing na mas nauna ka. Kasi kung nasa huli ka, pagod na sila, ganun.
Right. A lot of critics do that. Well, as a programmer, when we select films, that's months and months and months in doing that. But during the year, believe it or not, I would not want to watch and go to a movie house because I'm going to be watching 300 or 400 films.
Oh. So you've said a while ago that there are a lot of commonalities between these films. So let's go to the Filipino films first, sir. What are your observations on Filipino films and what sets us apart from foreign films?
The commonality now, I think, because Lisa Dino, our Undersecretary for FPCP, has encouraged filmmaking from different provinces. I've seen different films, and you will see it at the International Film Festival Manhattan, films that were created not in Manila, but in different provinces and regions. We have films from Cebu, we have films from, of course, Baguio, and Manila, and General Santos, and a Moro film from Sulu. So very deep-rooted. Eventually, I know we'll probably get some from the north and south and Tagalog region in all the different provinces. But I think that is the pattern right now. In fact, I'm finding out that there are a lot of film festivals already in different provinces. And I definitely want to help out and support other filmmakers as well, showing it in the International Film Festival. And you can also invite me to judge in your film festivals if you want me to.
Sure, sir. I'll keep in touch with you because it's one of my dreams to establish, a film festival also here in Cordillera. So, would you like to share any advice to filmmakers or content creators out there who want to make it big someday?
One thing is try to connect. Anyone can find me on Facebook. Anyone can engage me on Facebook. Some of the film entries were actually people just engaging me on the messenger. They showed me their work and they said, hey, we can show this at International Film Festival Manhattan. And some of them actually won. Some filmmakers actually have advised me since I'm preparing to submit a film of mine that I shot in the Philippines. And they say, like, don't be afraid to talk to programmers and pursue them. You know me already, so actually pursue me and ask me questions, show me your work, and if you want to submit in a film festival, I can select it. And in fact, some of the films I actually have asked them, oh, shorten this, do that, and then eventually submit it to my film festival. And of course, I'd like to remind everyone, if it's a short film, make it really short. Between 5 to 10 minutes is the best. A 5-minute short film, if you can make a beginning, middle, or end that's fabulous enough for us to actually remember, and you engage us. And if it's just 5 minutes, it's beautiful. And I know film festivals will jump into putting that in their program. Of course, feature films, try to make it as short as 70 to 90 minutes. I've seen some feature films that are 70 minutes already. Be sure it's meaningful. Be sure all the sounds, all the pictures and dialogue are perfect. English subtitles for international films. Be sure it's prepared and you actually have the English subtitles already there. And then lastly, what you have to do is be sure the message that you're sending out is meaningful to you. It should come from the heart. It will come out in the Q&A when they ask you questions and you can't answer the questions. That means it's really not coming from the heart. So be sure it's meaningful for you. And when they see it and they ask you questions, they will know that you're really, really sincere in what you're saying. Especially if it's a documentary. Well, even if it's a rom-com, even romantic comedies have storylines that should be meaningful for you. It could be autobiographical. It could have happened to you or your friends or relatives. But otherwise, say something. Especially, a lot of things are meaningful right now. As I say, digital hope is our theme for the International Film Festival Manhattan, because in the beginning of the year in 2020, we were not hopeful. But now, because of the International Film Festival Manhattan, hopefully we will show you some entertaining films that will entertain you, could make you cry, could make you laugh. But otherwise, to make 2020 meaningful at the end of the year, hopefully it will bind us together. Watch our films, please. Please support all the different films. It'll be November 19 to 22, 2020. And of course, when you watch a film, you can watch a film any of those days. And when you click on it already, your ticket will be available for 24 hours. Our website is IFFMNYC.com. And there's so many people to thank. I'm not going to thank you here because I will forget a lot of people. But Jonnie Dasalla, please watch out for this filmmaker. She is from Calderiera, and then she has made a lot of films. We should watch a lot of her films, and you can probably Google her online because she's one of the filmmakers that we should watch out for.
Wow. What an introduction from me. It's like this is my interview. And yeah, it's really great that you are also inviting us to your film festival, because it's our platform for aspiring filmmakers and for amateur filmmakers that we have here in the Philippines, here and abroad. And it's great that you are featuring all the Filipino filmmakers that doesn't have that much of a background or platform. And it's a great opportunity, sir, to join in this film festival. And thank you also for giving us your insightful advice about for filmmakers out there, especially na they're being discouraged because of the pandemic. But still, there is hope, and that is what digital hope is all about, right? Thank you so much, Sir Luis Pedron, for you being here in my interview, and more blessings to your film festival, your International Film Festival Manhattan, which will happen this November 19 to 22. Please do watch. Please do support local films, international films, films from abroad, films with different people, different races. and you will learn more about these different cultures and be blessed by this film festival. Thank you so much, Sir Luis Pedron, once again, and I hope to see you soon in the future, sir. In New York, in Cannes, or wherever, sir.
Thank you. Mwah!
Agyaman ak. Agyaman kami, sir.
Thank you, bye. Agyaman na, bye. Just thank you na. Salamat
Okay,
kay
sir.
Diyos.